Okay, now Miss Helena. Was it okay if I continue? President Glory is my father. I am Helena Glory. Please sit down so that you may go. How can I be of service to you, Miss Glory? I have come to look at our famous works where people are manufactured, like all visitors. Well, there's no objection. I thought it was forbidden to enter the factory. Yes, of course. Everybody comes here with someone's visiting card, Miss Glory, and you show them only certain things. The manufacture of artificial people is a secret process. If only you knew how enormously that interests you. You're talking about nothing else. Indignantly, turning front, why don't you let me finish speaking? Dryer, I beg your pardon. Do you want to say something different? I only wanted to ask whether I could make a special exception in your case and show you our factory. Why, certainly, Miss Glory. How do you know I wanted to say that? They all do, because we shall consider it a special honor to show you that we do show you more than we do the rest. Thank you, but you must agree not to divulge the least. Standing and giving him her hand. My word of honor. Thank you, looking at her hand. Won't you raise your veil? Of course, you want to see whether I'm a spy or not. I beg your pardon. Leaning forward. What is it? Would you mind releasing my hand? Oh, I beg your pardon. How cautious you have to be here, don't you? Observing with deep interest. Why, yes, of course, that is. But what is it? What's the matter? I'm remarkably pleased. Did you have a pleasant crossing? Yes, no difficulty. Why, I mean to say is you're so young. Maybe go straight into the factory? Yes. 22, I think. 22 what? Years. 21. Why do you want to know? Well, because as sits on desk near her, you will make a long stay, will you? Backing away. That depends on how much of the factory you show me. I'm sorry, I'm getting, stuffy because he's, going at her really strong. Rises, crosses to it. Oh, hang the factory. Oh, no, you shall see everything, Miss Glory. Indeed you shall. Won't you sit down? Takes her to couch seats, offers her a cigarette from case at end of sofa. She refuses. Thank you. But first, would you like to hear the story of the invention? Yes, indeed. It was in the year 1920 that old Rossum, the great physiologist, who was then quite a young scientist, took himself to the distant island for the purpose of studying the ocean fauna. She is amused. On this occasion, he attempted by chemical synthesis to imitate the living matter known as protoplasm, until he suddenly discovered a substance which behaved exactly like living matter, although its chemical composition was different. That was in the year 1932, exactly 440 years after the discovery of America. Do you know that by heart? Yes, you see, physiology is not my line. Shall I go on? Yes, please. And then, Miss Glory, old Rossum wrote the following among his chemical experiments. Nature has found only one method of organizing living matter. There is, however, another method, more simple, flexible, and rapid, which has not yet occurred to nature at all. This second process by which life can be developed was discovered by me today. Now, imagine, Miss Glory, writing those wonderful words over some colloidal mess that a dog wouldn't look at. Imagine him sitting over a test tube thinking about how the whole tree of life would grow from him, how all animals would proceed from it, beginning with some sort of beetle and ending with a man of different substance from us. Miss Glory, that was a tremendous moment. Well, as she speaks, his portable phone lights up and he answers. Well, hello? Yes? No, I'm in a conference. Don't disturb me. Well, smile. Now the thing was how to get life out of the test tubes. How to get life out of test tubes, and hasten development, and form organs, bones and nerves, and so on, and find such substances as catalysts, enzymes, hormones, in short. You understand? Not much, I'm afraid. Never mind. Leans over a couch and fixes cushion for her back. There. You see, with the help of his tinctures, he could make whatever he wanted. He could have produced a Medusa with the brain of Socrates, or a worm of 50 yards long. She laughs. He does also, leans closer on couch, then straightens up again. But being without a grain of humor, he took into his head to make a vertebrate, or perhaps a man. This artificial living matter in his hand had a raging thirst for life. It didn't mind being sewn or mixed together. That couldn't be done with natural albumin, and that's how he set about it. About what? About imitating nature. First of all, he tried making an artificial dog. That took him several years, and resulted in a sort of stunted calf which died in a few days. I'll show it to you in the museum. And then old Rossum started on the manufacture of man. And I'm to divulge this to nobody on the world. What a pity it's to be discovered in all the school books of Europe and America. Huh. I think she's threatening him. Yes, but do you know that what isn't in the school books? That old Rossum was mad. Seriously. Miss Glory, you must keep this to yourself. The old crank wanted to actually make people. But you do make people. Approximately, Miss Glory. But old Rossum meant it literally. He wanted to become a sort of scientific substitute for God. He was a fearful materialist, and that's why he did it all. His sole purpose was nothing more or less than to prove that God was no longer necessary. Across the stand of couch. Do you know anything about anatomy? Very little. Neither do I. Well, he then decided to manufacture everything, as in the human body. I'll show you in the museum the bungling attempt it took him 10 years to produce. It was to have been a man, but it lived for only 3 days. Then up came young Rossum, an engineer. He was a wonderful fellow, Miss Glory. When he saw what a mess of it the old man was making, he said, "It's absurd to spend 10 years making a man. If you can't make him quicker than nature, you might as well shut up shop." Then he set about learning anatomy himself. There's nothing about that in the school books. No, the school books are full of paid advertisements and rubbish at that. What the school books say about the united efforts of the two great Rossums is all fairy tale. They used to have dreadful rows. The old atheist hadn't the slightest conception of an industrial matters, and the end of it was that young Rossum shut him in some laboratory or other and let him fritter the time away with his monstrosities, while he himself started on the business from an engineer's point of view. Old Rossum cursed him, and before he died, he managed to botch up 2 physiological horrors. Then one day, they found him dead in the laboratory, and that's his whole story. And what about the young man? Sits beside her on couch. Well, anyone who has looked into human anatomy will have seen at once that this man is too complicated, that a good engineer can make him more simply. So young Rossum began to overhaul anatomy to see what could be left out or simplified. In short, but isn't this boring to you, Miss Glory? No, indeed. It's awfully interesting. Gets closer. So, young Rossum said to himself, man is something that feels happy, plays the piano, likes going for walks, and in fact wants to do a whole lot of things that are really unnecessary. Oh, that are unnecessary when he takes her hand. Let us say to weave or count. Do you play the piano? Yes, that's good. Kisses her hand. She lowers her head. Oh, I beg your pardon. Rises. But a working machine must not play the piano, must not feel happy, must not do a whole lot of other things. A gasoline motor must not have tassels or ornaments, Miss Glory. And to manufacture artificial workers is the same as the manufacture of gasoline motor. She is not interested. The process must be the simplest, and the product the best from a practical point of view. Sits beside her again. What sort of worker do you think is the best from a practical point of view? What? Looks at him. What sort of worker do you think is the best from a practical point of view? Pulling herself together. Oh, perhaps the one who is most honest and hard-working. No, the one that is the cheapest. The one whose requirements are the smallest. Young Blossom invented a worker with the minimum amount of requirements. He had to simplify him. He rejected everything that did not contribute directly to the progress of work, everything that makes man more expensive. In fact, he rejected man and made the robot. My dear Miss Glory, the robots are not people. Mechanically, they are far more perfect than we are. They have an enormously developed intelligence, but they have no soul. Leans back. How do you know they have no soul? Have you ever seen what a robot looks like inside? No. Very neat, very simple, really a beautiful piece of work. Not much in it, but everything in flawless order. But you wouldn't believe what a failure they were. A failure? Yes, for no reason at all. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Not much in it, but everything in flawless order. The product of an engineer is, technically, at a higher pitch of perfection than a product of nature. Helena, but man is supposed to be the product of God. All the worse, God hasn't the slightest notion of modern engineering. Would you believe that the young Blossom then proceeded to play at being God? How do you mean? He began to manufacture super robots. Regular giants they were. He tried to make them 12 feet tall, but you wouldn't believe what a failure they were. A failure? Yes, for no reason at all. Their limbs used to keep snapping off. Evidently, our planet is too small for giants. Now we can only make robots of normal size and a very high-class human finish. Hands him flour. He puts it in his buttonhole. So the robots, the first robots at home, the town council bought them engaged them for work. No, bought them, Miss Glory. Robots are bought and sold. These were employed as street sweepers. I saw them sweeping. They were so strange and quiet. Rises. Rossum's Universal Factory doesn't produce uniform brand of robots. We have robots of finer and coarser grades. The best will live about 20 years. He crosses to desk. Helena looks in her pocket mirror. He pushes button on desk. Boom. Then they die. Yes, they get used up. Marius, bring in samples of the manual labor robot. I'll show you some specimens of the two extremes. The first grade is comparatively inexpensive and is made in vast quantities. Marius re-enters with 2 manual labor robots and stands on tiptoes, touches the head, feels the arms, forehead of one of the robots. They come to a mechanical standstill. There you are, as powerful as a small tractor, guaranteed to have average intelligence. That will do, Marius. They make me feel so strange. Did you see my new typist? I didn't notice her. So they'll let Miss Gloria see you. Looks at Doman, rises, crosses. So pleased to meet you. You must find it terribly dull in this out-of-the-way sport, don't you? I don't know, Miss Glory. Where do you come from? From the factory. Oh, were you born there? I was made there. What? Except first at Salad, then at Diamond. You Salad laughing. Salad is a robot. Best grade. Oh, I beg your pardon. Salad isn't angry. See, Miss Glory, the kind of skin we make. Feel her face. Touches Salah's face. Oh, no. Examining Salah's hand. You wouldn't know that she's made of different material from us, would you? Turn round, Salah. Salah does circles twice. Oh, stop. Talk to Miss Glory, Salah. Please, sit down. Sits on couch. Helena sits on couch. Did you have a pleasant crossing? Fixes her hair. Oh, yes, certainly. Don't go back on the Amelia, Miss Glory. The barometer is falling steadily. We wait for the Pennsylvania. That's a good, powerful vessel. Doman, what's its speed? 40 knots an hour. 30,000 tons. One of the latest vessels, Miss Glory. Thank you. A crew of 1,500, Captain Happy, 8 boilers. Oh, sorry, Captain Hoppy, 8 boilers. That'll do, Sulla. Now show us your knowledge of French. You know French? Oui, madame. I know 4 languages. I can write dear sir, monsieur, grite, her, tenipan. Oh, that's absurd. Sulla isn't a robot. Sulla's a girl like me. Sulla, this is outrageous. Why do you take part in such a hoax? I am not a robot. I mean, I am a robot. No, you're not telling the truth. She catches the amused expression on Doman's face. I know they have forced you to do it for an advertisement, so that you aren't good like me, aren't you? I'm sorry, Miss Glory. Sulla is a robot. It's a lie. What? Pushes button on desk. Well, then I must convince you. Marius stands just inside the door. Marius, take Sulla into the dissecting room and tell them to open her up at once. Marius moves towards the door. Helena, where? Into the dissecting room. When they've cut her open, you can go and have a look. Marius makes a start towards Sulla. Helena, stop it. No. Excuse me, you spoke of lies. You wouldn't have her killed? You can't kill machines, Sulla. Oh, sorry, you can't kill machines. Sulla. Marius, one step forward. Sulla makes a move toward the door. Helena moves a step. Don't be afraid, Sulla. I won't let you go. Tell me, my dear, takes her hand. Are they always so cruel to you? You mustn't put up with it, Sulla, you mustn't. I am a robot. That doesn't matter. Robots are just as good as we are. Sulla, you wouldn't let yourself be cut to pieces? Sulla, yes. Takes her hand away. I cannot tell, Miss Glory. Do you know what would happen to you in there? Yes, I should cease to move. How dreadful! Marius, tell Miss Glory what you are. To Helena, Marius the robot. Would you take Sulla into the dissecting room? Turns to Doman, yes. Would you be sorry for her? Pause. I cannot tell. What would happen to her? She would cease to move. They would put her in the stamping mill. That is death, Marius. Aren't you afraid of death? No. You see, Miss Glory, the robots have no interest in life. They have no enjoyments. They are less than so much grass. Oh, stop. Please send them away. Marius, Sulla, you may go. Marius pivots, exits, Sulla exits. Helena, how terrible! It's outrageous what you are doing. He takes her hand. Why outrageous? I don't know, but it is. Why do you call her Sulla? Isn't it a nice name? Hand away. It's a man's name. Sulla was a Roman general. What? Oh, we thought Marius and Sulla were lovers. Indignantly. Marius and Sulla were generals and fought against each other in the year... I've forgotten now. Oh, come here to the window. What? Come here. Do you see anything? Bricklayers. Robots. All our work people are robots. And down there, can you see anything? Some sort of office. A counting house, and in it, a lot of officials. Robots. All our officials are robots. And when you see the factory, Noon whistle blows. She is scared. Puts arm on Dom and he laughs. If we don't blow the whistle, the robots won't stop working. In 2 hours, I'll show you the kneading trough. Both come downstage. Kneading trough? The pestle for beating up the paste. In each one we mix the ingredients for 1,000 robots at one operation. Then there are vats for the preparation of liver, brains, and so on. Then you will see the bone factory. After that, I'll show you the spinning mill. Spinning mill? Yes, for weaving nerves and veins. Miles and miles of digestive tubes pass through it at a time. Helena, mayn't we talk about something else? Perhaps it would be better. There's only a handful of us among 100,000 robots, and not one woman. We talk nothing but the factory all day and every day. It's just as if we're under a curse, Miss Glory. I'm sorry. I said that you were lying. Come in. Okay, I think that will conclude the first scene of Act 1. This was fun to act out, but I don't know if anyone enjoys this. If I'm expressive in my thing. Okay, I'm gonna go now, and I might come back later. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. Why isn't this scrolling? What the heck? Oh, okay. Did I scroll up? Maybe that's why. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye bye.